Good evening and welcome to the Carnegie Town Hall. This meeting of the Sioux Falls City Council will begin in a few moments. The City Council meets on the first, second, and third Tuesday of each month at 7 o'clock p.m. and serves as the city's policymaking and legislative body. Each meeting is governed by Robert's Rules of Order unless those guidelines conflict with city ordinance or charter. City Council meetings offer an opportunity for citizens to speak directly to their elected representatives. Those in attendance are invited to address the Council during the public input segment at the beginning of the agenda. At that time, any issue that is not subject to formal action later in the agenda can be addressed. Testimony that concerns a resolution or an ordinance's second reading is only allowed when those specific agenda items are being addressed by the Council. When addressing the Council, citizens should speak directly into the microphones at the podium and state their names for the record after being recognized by the Chair. To accommodate and respect all viewpoints, citizen comments are limited by ordinance to no more than 5 minutes each. Comments should be respectful and focused on providing new information that will benefit the Council's deliberative process. The Chair reserves the right to limit the number of speakers. City Council meetings are broadcast live on CityLink and online at www.siouxfalls.org. Information regarding the City Council, its committees, meetings, briefings, and members is available by visiting www.siouxfalls.org/council or by calling the Council office at 605-367-8085. Thank you for your interest in Sioux Falls City government.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. We're certainly pleased to have you here. It is Tuesday, January 12th. We'll start the meeting by introducing you to your City Council.
Council members Erickson.
Here.
Erpenbach. Here. Jameson.
Here.
Karski.
Present.
Kiley.
Here.
Rolfing.
Here.
Staggers.
Present.
Anderson.
Here.
It's great to have the entire team here. Thanks so much, councilors. We appreciate it. We are going to start our meeting with an invocation. We've got Pastor Phil Tagg, who's back here from the Ransom Church. And Pastor Phil, thank you for being here tonight. What we'd ask you to do is to stand for that invocation and then remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Phil.
When I was thinking about what to share, I thought, I need to find something new and fresh. So I went to a book written in 1941 by Dr. Harry Jessup. It's called The Ministry of Prevailing Prayer. And as I've been reading it kind of as part of my own devotional life, a thought stuck out to me that I thought would be appropriate for tonight. It says this: it would seem as long as a praying man stood before the throne representing the people, and a righteous man remained with the people representing God, judgment was withheld. And as I thought about that, I just thought, I get the opportunity to pray for this council, and you get the opportunity to be those righteous men and women leading our city. And so thank you for what you do, and I count it a privilege to pray for you now. So Heavenly Father, I do pray for right to rule in this place. I pray for wise decisions to be made, not just at this meeting, but in the meetings that will follow. I pray for the men and the women who serve wholeheartedly and faithfully on this council to be guided by your righteous hand. And as long as they serve, Lord, we will continue to pray for them in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's meeting. We're certainly pleased to have you here. I do have a special proclamation, and And Council Chair Anderson Jr., if you wouldn't mind, I know we've got some other great guests here. Would you mind coming forward, please? And Council Anderson Jr., would you mind, let's kick it off and then introduce everybody, please.
Thank you, Mayor. All three of you gentlemen, please. No, Robin, I wasn't going to let you sit back there. I'd like to introduce three great friends. Robin Duncan, Pastor Dwayne Williams, and Mark Blackburn.
Thank you, man, for being here tonight. We appreciate it. The proclamation reads, whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dedicated his life to advancing equality, social justice, and opportunity for all. Whereas Dr. King's teachings can continue to guide and inspire us in addressing challenges in our communities. Whereas Dr. King shared his dream of a better future for all and brought that message to Sioux Falls in 1961. Over the years, his message has continued to inspire local African American residents. Whereas ESC, Establishing Sustainable Connections, works to initiate, support, and direct efforts to create and sustain community relationships by providing people with the necessary resources needed for passages towards personal success. Whereas the public has an opportunity to participate in a week-long tribute celebrating Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy from January 12th through the 18th. Now, therefore, I, Mike Huther, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim, and do it proudly, the week of January 12th through the 18th, 2016 as Dr. King Celebration Week in Sioux Falls. Again, thank you so much for all you do for our community. Thanks for bringing forth this proclamation here tonight, and we'll all celebrate together. A round of applause, please. Any words that you'd like to share? Yeah, my friend.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you. This is a great moment for the city of Sioux Falls. Basically, what we were trying to do, we just want to unite. As the social trends, you think about the trends that's happening in the world today, we rather be proactive than reactive. And so we want to just welcome and open the invitation for you to come and join us and as we celebrate and unite together here in this city.
Council, thank you so much for that opportunity. Appreciate it. We will now move to our consent agenda. Any motions or changes?
Move for approval, Anderson.
And second, Rolfing. Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve our consent agenda, seconded by Councilor Vice Chair Rolfing. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Now, our regular agenda, Council, any changes to that?
Move to approve, Erpenbach.
Second, Anderson.
Councilor Buck's made a motion to approve tonight's regular agenda, seconded by Councilor Anderson Jr. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. That is also passed 8-0. Welcome to tonight's meeting. This is an opportunity for you to engage the City Council and our city on really any topic that is of interest to you. If it is a topic that's later on in the agenda, if you could just hold off until that point in time, we'd appreciate it. But really anything else, just come forward. Just kind of two requirements. You do have to introduce yourself to the people of our town. And then secondly, please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. So please, anybody, welcome. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Josh Kaiser. I live in Sioux Falls.
Hey, Josh.
I don't know if there's a ordinance about blocking fire hydrants. So I've been having issues with high school kids down by Lincoln High School, blocking 3 of my fire hydrants along 35th Street, from Sherman to Blauvelt. At any given time, there's at least 2 of them are blocked. I don't know if we can up the fine to like $10 or an automatic tow-away zone. Is just tow them out of there. Because I'm looking out for my neighbors, because they don't come down here, and so I do, because I see it happen all the time. And it's not just blocking fire hydrants, it's my neighbors' driveways, the sidewalk approaches, they're getting blocked all the time. I don't know if you guys can do anything about that. Is it just tow them, is what I would like to see happen. It may teach them kids not to block them. And it's just not around the schools. Throughout the city, I've seen it done. In other areas and neighborhoods, they're just blocking them. So I call them in and get tickets put on them. But I only heard that it's like a $5 ticket for them blocking a fire hydrant. I like to see it go up so it teaches these people not to do it again. Because I don't know if any of these other people have fire hydrants that get blocked, but I'm looking out for the welfare of the city and other people. It's just my nature. I don't want to see anybody's houses burned down because of some person blocking the fire hydrant, because they need to get to it right away. I've seen it done in Chicago on TV, that they just knocked the windows out of a car and threw their hose through the window and hooked it up to the fire hydrant and flooded the car. They didn't care. So I don't know if the fire department can do anything about it or if the mayor can do anything about it. So,
Josh, thank you. We certainly can. If you wouldn't mind, just give your email address to Jim back there, and then I'll follow up with you as well.
all right.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. Thanks for your care. Folks, anybody else have any comments that they want to relay to the citizens or the council? Welcome, Mark. Come on forward, please.
Again, thank you for the proclamation, and everything is going well and nice and planned. So I just wanted to highlight one. We have a lot of events going on, but Friday in particular, because I think it brings a little bit of youth or a breath to the city of Sioux Falls. We have the panel on Friday night. It's a MLK dinner and discussion panel from individuals from international backgrounds, faiths, different faiths and ethnicities will be on this panel talking about MLK dream and if the dream coincides here in Sioux Falls. And so I think it's really, really prevalent for our city here if we can come together for Friday night and support those individuals who are in our city from different cultures. You think about the immigrants and refugees are in our city. They're doing what they need to do. And so I think this kind of commemorates the whole message of MLK of uniting and coming together. So just wanted to just touch in and say, hey, Friday is a special night. I mean, all those nights are great, especially the Monday night closing ceremony. But just wanted to just kind of reiterate Friday, and would like to see many of you, if all of you, if you could, to come out and support our local citizens in this community. But thank you again. We look forward to seeing everybody. Please take a brochure. We thank you for everything that you have done for us, and we look forward to this week.
Mark, you might as well give the exact time and the location as well, please.
Sure. It's at 6:15 on Friday at Augustana University. I should know that.
I'm saying yes, you should.
Augustana University. It starts at 6:15, and it's in a 3-in-1 room in the Morrison Commons.
Okay.
And $12 just to get in, but I think it's a well worthwhile spent money. So
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Folks, anybody else want to engage the council? Well, thank you. We appreciate you being here tonight. And we'll now move to item number 9.
A resolution vacating the north 17 feet of the West 6th Street right-of-way from the east right-of-way line of North Helen Avenue to 10 feet west of the west right-of-way line of North Kiwanis Avenue as shown on the exhibit.
Good evening, Jeff Delories from the Engineering Division of Public Works. This right-of-way is located west of North Kiwanis Avenue and east of the Sioux Empire Fairgrounds. The petition was prepared and submitted in October by Sayre Associates on behalf of the owners. The petition was signed by the adjacent property owners pursuant to South Dakota codified law. The petitioner has complied with our street vacation policy. A neighborhood meeting was not required as part of this vacation. If the right-of-way is vacated, a utility easement will be maintained for public and private utility uses. As you can see on the illustration here, similar vacations have been approved on the south side, on West 6th Street in the past. A couple of different vacations. The east vacation was done in 1988, and the west one, I believe, in 2009. Vacating the north 17 feet will leave us with a street right-of-way width of 66 feet, which is typical for this type of street with industrial use. From a transportation and utility perspective, engineering recommends approval.
Jeff, thank you very much. Did anybody want to speak about this item in the audience? Council?
Move for approval, Anderson.
Second, Rolfing.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve this resolution, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. If there's no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Council, thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item number 10.
A resolution approving the 2016 audit plan.
I don't want to find out.
Rich Oaksel, Internal Audit. Every year I have come before this body and we ask you to approve our annual audit plan. This has gone through the audit committee at our December meeting. One thing I'd like to point out that according to our Red Book internal audit standards, annually I am required to confirm to the board, which would be the city council, that I am in fact organizationally independent of the departments and the programs that we audit, both in fact and in appearance. So I've complied with the standards for one more year, so let's get to it. We have two brand new audits on the plan. The first one is the construction manager at risk. This was a request of several council members. We're looking at the CM at risk audit or the construction method. The event center used that method. The Midco Aquatic Center is using that method, and there's two major projects coming down the road that will be using that method. I believe it's the Banks project and then the new city administrative building. So we'll be looking at the internal controls to make sure they're functioning, to ensure that the change orders are properly approved, that the guaranteed maximum price is not exceeded, that the specified quality of materials and construction is being received, and a competitive process is being used to select the most qualified contractor. So that is a new one for this on the 2016 plan. And the other one right below it there is that citywide cash. This is a request of Mayor Huther. We put it on the plan, and we've already met with finance about this project. They've assisted us with identifying all the locations in the city where we receive payments. And so we're looking at the internal controls over, how we receive cash and credit cards and that sort of thing. Looking at segregation of duties, physical security. Another thing we want to make sure that we look at is the controls over the, when we receive the information about credit cards from customers, make sure that information is properly protected, and there's standards to protect that information. We want to make sure that we're protecting that credit card information from customers. The mayor had also requested that we look at when we pay bills and that sort of thing, when the money comes in and also when it goes out. We're incorporating that into the accounts payable audit, which I'll get to in just a moment, but so we'll certainly be looking at that. Under other activities, it's just kind of the usual stuff. We have technical assistance to committees and council members. It doesn't result in a report. Occasionally, we're asked to do a special project or a quick response. We put that in the audit plan, and there's a protocol for getting those projects approved through the audit committee. We have a fraud hotline. Once in a while, we need to investigate a call that comes in on the fraud hotline. We do an annual follow-up on the status of audit recommendations, and then we have some ongoing audit activities. We're required to get continuing education as auditors, and we do that through webinars and national conferences and that sort of thing. So we put that in the plan, and we get our travel approved by the audit committee. Now, we have a bunch of projects that were on the 2015 plan that you approved. We didn't get to them in 2015, so we just carried them forward into 2016. The cable television franchise fee audit, the accounts payable audit, which I just mentioned. We have the information technology audit and affordable housing. And then we also have a follow-up to an audit we did back in 2011 on fuel, looking at the fuel controls to kind of see the status of those audit recommendations. And then we have two projects. We're not calling them audits, we're calling them analysis. Public Works had requested looking at the energy saving projects that the city's involved in to make sure that they, in fact, are saving the city money. One of those examples is replacing all the conventional bulbs on traffic lights with LED bulbs, and also the street light projects that we've started. The other project is the adaptive traffic control signals, and so we'll be looking at that to see if those are working as advertised, and we hope to have those reports analysis done this year. So I'm asking for your approval, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Rich, thank you. Before I go to the council, is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak to this item? Very good. Councilors?
Move for approval, Anderson.
Second, Rolfing.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve this item, second by Councilor Rolfing. Councilor Rolfing, did you have a comment, sir?
Yes, just wanted to say thank you to Rich, and this looks like a healthy agenda for 2016, yeah. So go get them. Not go get them, but, you know, do your job.
Thank
and
you.
You do it well.
Thank you. Councilor Erickson.
Just a couple questions. Remind me of the process if there are other audits that, I know there's unassigned hours, and so if you want the audit, does it have to go through the audit committee? Is it something that can be...
it has to be a written request, and I can help you with that if there's something that needs to be on there. And then the audit committee can make a decision on that.
Okay. And then remind me how many audits we do a year?
It varies, anywhere from half a dozen to 10 or 11. It just kind of depends on various factors, but I think we produce quite a few reports. So, okay. Yeah. Well, but obviously, we can't audit everything in 1 year. Our audit universe is very, very large. So,
right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I do have one item that I'll work with Councilor Rolfing, but just as we had meetings earlier today, we talked about the transparency of public documentation and public meetings and public agendas and how it relates to finding them and easily accessing them from not just our standpoint, but how as a city can we do a really good job at doing that, but also the dollars that we spend on making sure that when we are asking for those to be published, making sure that that's in fact being published in a way that's easily to find, easy to read, etc. That would be an area that I'll work with Councilor Rolfing to bring forward if there's any unassigned hours that we could kind of, because there's been so much talk about that of it's so difficult to read, so difficult to find. So how can we make that better for the citizens?
Absolutely. Okay.
Councilor, thank you. A roll call vote, please. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Staggers.
I just have a quick question for Rich. You're going to be doing an audit of the management of you know, how the event center was constructed and so forth. Is that fair to say?
Of the, how the project was managed? Well, I think we're looking at, for example, one thing, how was the contractor selected? Was that a competitive process? Looking at, you know, how the change order process works, because I think it's a little different than our typical construction contracts, and looking at basically quality control, you know, are we getting the materials and the quality that, you know, how do we inspect the work as it goes along, that sort of thing, and then make sure that we don't exceed that guaranteed maximum price. Those are kind of those, basically the 4 objectives I think we're looking at. But it's not just for the event centers, it's Midco Aquatic Center is going through the process. We have 2 more coming, I think, in the next couple of years on our capital plan. So we're very familiar with construction contracts in general. I'm just wrapping up an audit of construction contracts, and it was 2 street projects and 1 fire station, but this is a little bit different, so it would be a learning curve for us as auditors.
So from what you've just said, would that also include a concern that's been expressed about the siding on the event center, how that came about?
That isn't the main focus of the audit, but certainly.
But would that be part of the audit, or
well,
it might not be the main focus?
It won't be the main focus, no. But we're not going to ignore it. No, it's
okay.
A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you, Council. Item 11.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the City of Sioux Falls and Stellar Limousine LLC.
Sam Trebelcock, City of Sioux Falls Planning. This resolution would allow the mayor to sign into a 3-year agreement with Stellar Limousine to operate the 2 trolleys that the city owns. To give you
Could you
some
repeat that again, please?
What's that?
Could you repeat that again, please?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
To avoid any confusion.
Thank you.
To allow the mayor to enter into an agreement with Stellar Limousine to operate, for Stellar Limousine to operate the 2 trolleys that the city owns. Thank you. Yes. To give you some background, we've been in an agreement, the city's been in an agreement with Stellar Limousine to operate the trolleys for the last 1.5 years, under 2 different agreements. We wanted to first see how it would work over a year, or I think it was over 6 months. It worked well. We then did it for another year. It worked well again. The city owns the assets. Stellar Limousine then houses the trolleys, and they reserve the trolleys, they operate the trolleys, they maintain the trolleys, and from there we are still able to, and the main benefit to the city is that we're able to still utilize those trolleys in some way for the community. It's been, I think, a good partnership. Based upon that, we started to negotiate a longer-term agreement with Stellar Limousine, because they saw the benefit of looking further out, because they're reserving trolleys further out than, in some cases, even 6 months. So it made sense to us to look at a longer-term agreement and continue that partnership. Based upon that, I would take any questions.
Sam, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Is there anybody who wanted to discuss this item with the council? Councilors? Councilor Staggers?
Yeah, Sam, how much are we paying Stellar?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing.
Okay. Right. Correct. It's just, we're essentially leasing the trolleys to them for nothing, and they're operating the trolleys, they're maintaining the trolleys, they're doing all of that, so.
Okay.
Right.
Councilor?
Motion?
I do, Councilor.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second, Kiley.
Thank you, Councilor Kiley. Councilor Rolfing, appreciate that. If there is no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Council, any other topics you want to cover before we adjourn?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, we have item 12.
Oh, we do have item 12. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
Item 12 is a report of the January 7, 2016 Notice of Transfer of Appropriations within major organizational units.
Now can we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And would anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Thank you, Counselor. Second?
Second.
Seconded as well. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Sioux Falls, make it a great, great night.